Hi everybody and welcome back to another retired coat haul on Howrse. Today's coats are going to be all of the retired coats that I purchased for the month of March. And like my first coat haul that I did for February, I'm going to post the coat information off to the side. That way, for the names or creators' names that I can't pronounce, you'll still be able to see that coat information and you can look them up in the directories or in the Howrse sales if you would like to just look at these coats a little bit more closely or try to purchase them yourself. This month's haul, or last month's haul, I should say, was just a little bit smaller. I only purchased 4 coats, and that's just because they were a bit on the pricier side. And all of these coats were ones that I did already have on my list, 2 of which have been on my list for ages now. And when I saw them pop up in the sales, I immediately started saving all of my passes so that I could buy them. So we're going to start off with Belarios. This is a writing unicorn coat by Skos or Shos. Again, the information is going to be off on the side in case I totally messed up that pronunciation. This one has 754 copies out of the 900 that were released back in October 2014. This one has already dropped 1 copy then since I bought it last month. I'm kind of bummed about this one because I do believe it just recently retired, at least sometime within the last few months. I don't think it's been retired for very long, so I just missed putting it on one of my own horses, which I do like to do, but it's not really a huge deal that I didn't get to place it on one of my horses, except that in many cases you do end up paying a lot more in the sales to purchase that coat than you would just to apply it yourself. This one was not bad though, because I was able to purchase it for Aquis, and Aquis, I don't really care. Passes, however, are much more precious to me. I do absolutely love this coat. It's more of a realistic style, and I think it's very well done. The pinto pattern is quite lovely. It's a nice sort of buckskin or dun color. I like the actual pattern itself too. Just where the white markings are placed. It has beautiful shading and highlights. And I think my favorite aspect though is the mane and the tail, because the blending of the black or the white into the black is just fabulous. I just love the flowiness of it, and the pose too. I think the pose kind of ties with the mane and tail is my favorite aspect really, because even if the coat was just a plain chestnut or a plain bay, I would love it just because of the pose. Now, this coat actually came with a bit of a bonus, which was even more of a bonus, I guess, just because I did buy it for Aquis, but it had a snow monkey companion already added to it. I do have a snow monkey companion in my inventory, but I'm quite picky with how I pair my companions up to my horses. I don't necessarily keep companions set aside for skillers because of their, like the companions like the snow monkey that have a higher bonus than others. Because if I'm lucky, I skill a horse maybe once a year. And if I just hoarded my high bonus companions just for skillers, it would take me absolutely forever to collect all of the companion coats. So for this one, I'm happy now that I bought a horse with it. I have the snow monkey companion now, and I can do whatever I want to do with the other one that I have in my inventory. So this was quite a nice bonus on an already gorgeous coat. This next coat is a writing Pegasus coat by one of my favorite creators. This is Misa by Lissy. It has 127 copies out of the 200 total that were released, that were available back in October of 2012. This one looks to be modeled after an Appaloosa, which is my favorite breed. That just means, hey, it's an Appaloosa coat. That's pretty much already on my wanted list, and I love the pattern on the wings. I love wings that look sort of almost like they could be owl wings, maybe a snow owl, just because of the lighter colored wings and the spots on it. And the pose is quite fun too, because it's not a Pegasus that's just standing. It looks like it could be flying or jumping over an obstacle. And had I actually wanted to change the landscape on this horse, I could have a lot of fun pairing this horse up in a landscape so that it looked like it was flying in the sky, flying in space, or jumping over something. However, this coat also came with an added bonus, and that's that the Helios Ray, or the landscape, I should say, the landscape is retired, because if I click on the Helios Ray, it says no result matches your search criteria. And whenever you get this message on the Helios Ray page, when you click on a horse with a particular landscape, if you get this message, it means that the landscape has retired. I don't go out of my way to purposely collect retired backgrounds because my passes already go towards other things that cost quite a bit. So it's really just a pure bonus if I do happen to get a horse that has a retired Helios Ray. Retired landscape. It's same thing. Retired coat, same thing. Anyways, I think what I might do one day when I have some time, I'll go through my horses that have rays and look to see which ones are retired, because I do know that I have a small handful that have retired backgrounds on them, but this is the only one that so far I've actually written in the notes section that it has a retired ray. And you can't just go into the directories like you can with retired coats and search up retired Helios rays. You have to go through and actually go to that backgrounds ray page to look to see if it's retired. So it is a bit more of a process, unfortunately. Or you could pull up the landscape directories and then just click all of those old backgrounds to go to the ray page that way. But I would have much more fun just going through my horses, because pretty much all of my horses that have backgrounds on them also have coats. So that's just a fun chance to go through my coats. We're getting into my last two coats now, which as I said earlier, are coats that have been on my wanted list pretty much since I ever discovered Lissy coats, because these are both Lissy coats, again, that I've wanted for a very long time. And this one I actually missed out on purchasing a few months ago, but at the time that it popped up in the sales, I didn't have enough passes for it. And by the time I did have enough passes for it, somebody else had already beaten me to it. But thankfully, it did show up again last month and I was finally able to get it. This is one that I will have to post on the side of the screen because I'm not sure how you pronounce the name, but I did translate it and it turns out the name is very appropriate for the coat. The name translates to Pistachio, and the Pistachio, hopefully I'm saying the order of this correctly, the Pistachio is a member of the Pistachio genus, the genus Pistachio. I hope I said that correctly. But if you've ever seen pistachios, especially when they're cooked in a food like pistachio muffins, the muffins will turn green, and it pretty much matches the green that's in this horse's coat. It might not be quite this vibrant of a green, but this coat is just beautiful. I love the green in the mane and the tail, the eyes, the hooves, the wings, and it is an Appaloosa. Again, Appaloosa is my favorite breed. This is sort of what I think of as Lissy's signature style because it has the added apparel or adornments to it that just sort of glam up the coat a little more and just makes it more fancy. So I'm just so happy that I finally have this coat because I've wanted it for a very long time. This one is a Riding Pegasus coat that has 160 copies out of 200, and it was released in March of 2012. And the final coat, the one that I have really, really wanted for a very long time, is Riot of Colors by Lissy. This one is a riding horse coat that has 140 copies out of 200. Again, this one has already dropped a copy since I purchased it, and this one was released in September of 2012. Again, another sort of signature Lissy style with the feathering, the apparel on it. The colors are just really pretty because I love a nice, deep purple. This one's a nice vibrant purple, really. And then it has some purple too in the horse's feathers, the feathers that are on the horse's feet, not the feathers that are in the apparel. I don't know if you can really see it too well on the screen, but there is some purple there mixed in with the black. There's a little bit of purple marking on the horse's face, and then I love the white that's kind of mixed through into the mane. This one is just pretty. It's just so pretty, and I love this coat so much. And it's not a coat that I've seen pop up in the sales that often, so when it did, I made sure to start selling as many horses that I can. I really bred a lot of donkeys and some draft unicorns that I could try to sell because those sell for a little bit more than any other horse I have because I don't have very high GP horses that sell well. So I scrambled to sell a bunch of horses so that I could get this coat, and I finally did, and I'm very ecstatic to have this coat finally. That's it for my retired coat haul for the month of March 2021. Did you guys get any coats last month? Or maybe you collect something other than coats, maybe companion horses, landscapes, retired landscapes in particular, maybe, or you just like collecting older horses, foundations. I'm always interested to hear all of the different things that people like to collect on the games that they play. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.